Hey everybody, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitch. I'm going to tell you the truth about the Eagles and the Cowboy game. Can the Eagles bounce back? Can the Cowboys keep going the way they're going? And then I'm going to talk about the AFC when it comes to the Bills and the Chiefs and the rest of the AFC landscape. I have to change some things up how I feel about the wild card situation. But this is the game. Eagles, Cowboys, Sunday night. Can the Eagles bounce back? I think the Eagles will play better. I don't think they're gonna get beat by 50, 40 points. And the Cowboys are gonna put up 49 points or anything like that. But it's gonna be a tight game. I'm gonna tell you keys to the game. On offense for the Eagles, they got to score in the red zone because the Cowboys are gonna score in the red zone. Swift has got to run it a little. The Cowboys and Eagles are kind of middle of the road statistically defensively with the run. It looks like the Cowboys are a little more stout against the run at home. The Eagles they have to be a little more patient. They have to run Swift on first down, maybe run on second. Smith and Brown, the receiving core, they found themselves. They both kind of got going. Micah Parsons really struggles against the Niners. He had one sack against the Eagles. Um, he does it with Lane Johnson's the best offensive lineman in the league. I saw him throw Bosa around like a rag doll last week, even in the defeat. Uh, and you got Kelsey, who's really good at the best center, one of the best centers in the history of the sport. On the other side, they have to take advantage of that. I think Parsons should even line up over there where Lane Johnson is. And they got to have the inside, the up the middle pressure, which is important. They don't have to. It's going to be hard to get to Hurts, but they kind of have to move him out of his spot, and they got to force him to go to his left, which he doesn't always throw. And sometimes when he goes his left and he can't get turn around to set the throw, he'll just throw the ball out of bounds. I think that's what the Cowboys want. They don't want him. They definitely don't want the running game going because now you got AJ Brown and Smith man for man. I do think Bland got lit up last week, but he got a pick. Because one time Bland went for against Metcalf, he went for a pick six, got lit up for a 73-yard touchdown. Bland gets a pick. AJ Brown burns him a couple of times. I do believe that. Smith gets his because he hurt Dallas. Smith is a superior route runner. Goddard comes back. If Goddard is effective, they have a chance. But Dallas defensively, they got lit up a little bit by the Seahawks, but they defended. They got the stops they needed at the end. And that's what I'm banking on because they're really fast at home. Everything is just a tick faster at home on that field turf. And Lawrence and Parsons are explosive. Parsons is getting off the ball and he's almost is one Mississippi and he's got your quarterback in trouble. But gonna be a little harder against the Eagles. But I think what Parsons has to do is pressures. You don't see Parsons' sack total as much as you could when he's pressuring. That's rushing. The quarterback's rushing the ball. He can't read it through his progressions. He has to throw the ball away or he has to be a little off where Blank could get a pick or Kurtz could get a pick. Or he just incomplete and Dallas with their explosive offense gets the ball back. And now you're ahead. You can play downhill. Now you're ready. Eagles have struggled. Now you can make them even less confident. That's kind of what Dallas wants to do. I do believe the Eagles will be a little better. Their red zone offense, other than the tush push, I'm not there. They're off. Gainwell and Gainwell is a good. He doesn't look big, but he's good around the goal line. I think Smith and Gainwell, I think you got to try that to see if you could score because then that allows Hurts to where it's 3rd and 5 at the 7, he could scramble for the first down, touchdown. But the Niners were waiting for his scramble on that shotgun. Cowboys saw the film. They're going to do the same thing. The key to the Eagles is whether it's Goddard or whether it's Swift and a screen pass when they're coming. they have to execute where they can't afford to kick field. When they get to the 10-yard line, that's got to be 7 or they're getting beat. And I'm going to tell you why. Dallas is, now on the other side of the ball, Dallas is lethal. They are lethal at the goal line. If you see the last couple of games, whether it's CeeDee Lamb on a post route, whether it's Ferguson catch the ball in the end zone, whether it's Cooks, scoring touchdown. He's very good toward the goal line. He doesn't, statistically, he's not lighting it up, but toward the goal line, he's really, really, really good. I'm super impressed with the Cowboys offense. In the red zone, they're almost impossible to stop because now Pollard is running the ball better toward the goal line. He has 5 touchdowns. And Dowell will score. He plays pretty good. But Ferguson and Cooks has 5 touchdowns now. He has 3 touchdowns the last 3 games. And Ferguson's really crafty toward the goal line. Ferguson's very good on third down, too. That helps. But CeeDee Lamb tore through the Eagles. The Eagles had no answer toward any time that Dak Prescott wanted to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb when he wasn't pressured. He got it to him. Now, if you put Bradbury and even Slay's played good corner, but if you have Bradbury and CeeDee Lamb, that's an automatic completion for CeeDee Lamb. Bradbury, he's better than what he showed. But if you put Bradbury out there, or Dallas, they run formations where they move CeeDee Lamb around. They're going to be hunting for Bradbury. And Bradbury had the best game of the year for them to have a chance of winning. I don't anticipate that. I anticipate CeeDee Lamb to eat and keep doing what he's doing. I think when the playoffs come, defenses might switch up and just totally double Lamb and just make Ferguson and Cooks just beat them up, which could be still Dallas could do. But Pollard has run a little bit better in between the tackles. If Pollard could give them some running, the Eagles don't have a prayer of winning. If he can get 5 and 6 yards on first down, now you got to come a little closer to the line of scrimmage. Now CeeDee Lamb's got more room to just dominate the Eagles like he did the last game. And then Ferguson on third down and Dak. And it's funny because it seemed like ever since Dak changed his cadence, he's in this really nice zone. He's in this really nice rhythm. I watched them against the Giants. I watched every game just to analyze their offense. And then he'll go, hut, 1, 2, here we go. Here we go. Hut. And then whatever play, when he does that, it seems like he gets his mechanism right and gets it gets him set beautifully. I don't know if it's a psychological thing to get him going. I know they have different signals, but I think that ever since he kind of switched to that kind of cadence, the Cowboys have been on fire. So you listen for that when you watch, but look to see if the Eagles made any type. Their secondary is underachieved because Bradbury and Shea are good, and Blankenship is a good safety, but no Gardner Johnson. If you had Gardner Johnson and Blankenship, I think I'd have paid him, but that's the Lions gain and the Eagles loss, and they've paid for it a little bit, and they just look confused at time in the secondary. Go to Jerry's world and still be confused in the secondary and see what Dak does to you. But like I said, I think the Eagles play with a little more pride. Close game. I am 100% guaranteeing the Cowboys to win this game. Maybe 28-24. They're getting their revenge, and they're going to beat the Eagles. They're going to be tied, but that's still not enough. The Cowboys have to do something that is going to be very difficult. Go to Buffalo, go to Miami. They can get beat once or twice. And then you got to ask the Eagles to lose 3 straight games, even though Seattle will be tough. If they get through Seattle, the Eagles will be they'll take care of business. And then the Eagles at worst will be the 2 seed. But it also comes down to I expect the Niners to mop the floor with the Seahawks. They're going to mop the floor with the Cardinals. The Ravens game could be a top seed eliminator. I say that because if the Niners beat the Ravens, they might lose home field. If the Ravens beat the Niners, they could lose home field and have to go back to Philly. So if Philly loses to the Cowboys and still wins the number one seed, the Cowboys are going to move to the 4 seed. They're going to play the winner of the South. It could be Atlanta. They're going to walk into Atlanta. It'll be about 75% Cowboy fans. They're going to crush the Falcons. But then they got to go back to Philly. And they've outplayed Philly twice. I mean, say, for instance, they're going to win this game like I expect them. So that means they've outplayed the Eagles twice, even though they lost that game. So they have just beaten up on the Eagles twice. Now you got to go to Philly. Now you got to outplay them a third time, which is going to be very difficult. And then if you don't do that, then that means the 49ers have to come back out to Philly, cross country, and blow the Phillies and beat the Eagles again. So the Eagles, if they have any chance of getting the Super Bowl, they got to get home field because them on the road in Dallas or them on the road in the Niners, I'm picking against them. But I'm picking against them this game. They're going to have 3 losses in this game. Mahomes versus Josh Allen once again. I like the Bills in this game. They're going to go to Arrowhead. Rolling the dice with the Bills. I like how they're playing. I think Josh Allen, he has 14 touchdowns and 1 interception in Arrowhead. He plays better there than Buffalo. I don't even think he played that great when the Chiefs beat him in Buffalo, but he does well. They should have won that playoff game. They won the last time they were there. They're going to do it again. I'll give you reasons. He's playing good because they're running the ball. I think they could run it a little bit because the Chiefs, with some of the injuries at linebacker, they got ran on by the same type of running back that the Chiefs. Murray is the same type of runner as Dillon, and I think he's going to get him and Cook get those in between 5-6 yard runs to keep the chains moving, so it's not 3rd and 13 where Jones and Spagnuolo could dial up exotic defenses to make Allen get confused, and that will be a problem. But I like the Bills to be able to put up enough points to win. Close game, maybe last minute kick. Josh Allen drive. I love them on offense because that they're really committed to the run, and Allen could run judiciously. So if you need 5 yards, he can pick it up. If it's 3rd and goal at the 7, he could run it in without him getting hurt and doing reckless, stupid stuff. Now he can't be reckless, not in Arrowhead, and the Chiefs are going to be desperate to try to win after losing. But I think they do enough because of the fact that they've played a lot better defensively, even though the Eagles had some moments. The Chiefs have been off all year. And I just wonder, it didn't show last year when they won it all, but just wonder the loss of Tyreek Hill has eroded the offense because Rice has been good. But if you had Tyreek Hill and Rice and Kelsey, you are lightning. You might have 1 loss total with the way they're playing defense. I would have tried to pay him because look, he's the MVP of the league to me. He being over there with the Dolphins, he's the MVP of the league over Purdy, over McCaffrey. He is just the most scariest guy on the football field, and the Chiefs don't have it, man. I like the Bills this game because I don't think the Chiefs. I got to see them from now to December figure out, okay, the pecking order. Okay, we're going to go Rice. Tony's going to get some reverses. Hilaire and Pacheco is going to get us those tough runs because it would be nice to see Hilaire get some runs to go along with how hard Pacheco runs. Pacheco's a 70-yard, 65-yard a game kind of guy. He's not the 100-yard kind of guy, but that's good. Now, if Hilaire could get your ball in the backfield, give you some hard-nosed running, and they get a rhythm. It's a rhythm team. They just flow, And even when they get in the red zone, they'll do some of the plays where Kelsey will be the quarterback. He throws it, or he runs it, or he pitches it to the tight end, or he pitches it back to Mahomes, who throws it in for a touchdown. There's just a certain way that the Chiefs play where they're just everything is just flowing. It's just not there. And Mahomes throwing it, I mean, trying to trust the wrong guys. He's making the reads, but I can't give the ball to Sky Moore with the game on the line, and he's not running the right route. I got to go to Rice. If they're going to double Kelsey, I'm going to Rice. And maybe I give Kadarius Toney a chance. But I can't go Sky Moore, and I can't go Scaling unless he's going deep. I can't have him dropping balls to the game on the line. So I'm not sure. I'm sure how Buffalo's kind of matriculated into a efficient offensive team. So I'm riding the Bills this game. Close game. Chiefs play really good at home. I'm riding the Bills. And now, as far as the AFC, I'm eliminating Pittsburgh. I apologize for saying something that's stupid, that they might make the wild card. They're going to be out, losing to New England, and were just sloppy. They have injuries, but they have patterns that they've run into every year where they're always a game short every year. And Tomlin's going to have to reinvent himself. They want his head. And this is going to be from Thursday to the final Sunday. This is going to be a little rough because they're going to be talking about firing him every day for the next 13 days. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. So, and they'll play better against Indianapolis. The 2-win teams they don't play well against because they're a hype team. They get hyped up to play Cincinnati. They get hyped up maybe to play Indianapolis or go on the road against a tough road game, and they're hyped up and fired up. When they're home against a lousy team, they're going to lose. And that's been their pattern, and that'll cost them in the end. Jacksonville losing their quarterback for a month, that's not good. It gives Indianapolis a chance and Houston a chance to get in. This is what I think is going to happen. Buffalo's getting in. I think Cleveland, they'll win this week, but they're going to go on a losing streak without their quarterback. Denver is going to be a game short like Pittsburgh. I think Cincinnati, Denver, and Pittsburgh are going to they're going to come up a little short. I love the Bills. And if they lose this week, I think they could run the table. But I think their formula is a win, beat Dallas. And if you lose to Miami, you're still going to get in. If you play Miami, you want that game not to mean your season when you go to South Beach. They get in, they're going to be a pain in the neck to deal with. I don't know if Jacksonville's going to have to pull off an upset against Baltimore just to win the division because they could drop to the wild card with the Colts and Houston nipping at their heels. The Colts with Minshew playing pretty solid, they got a chance. Let me look at their schedule. They have at Cincinnati, that's a problem. So I think the Bengals win. They'll beat Pittsburgh. Atlanta could be tricky. They should beat Vegas. And then Houston, I predict Houston and Indianapolis are going to mean everything. It could mean the division. It could mean you getting in the wild card. And now how does CJ Stroud react as a rookie? Because he's been really, 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 really good. You look at him, he's got 20 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, 101.2 QBR. Now, listen, now it gets interesting because he's a rookie and everything is on the line now. The Jets decide to play really good defense, that could be tricky. Tennessee, if Tennessee could finish, that could be tricky. It should be Cleveland. Tennessee playing Tennessee twice. Well, if Tennessee gets them once. And then at Indianapolis. That could be, I'm telling you, that could be for the wild card. But if Jacksonville could go 2-2, maybe even pull off an upset against the Ravens, they might squeak by the division. But Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Houston, that dynamic, that's going to be fun to watch. But I'm riding Buffalo. to get in. I ain't saying they're going to the Super Bowl, but I'm riding the Bills making the playoffs. That's one thing I could say. I believe in my heart, without a doubt. And I have rode Josh Allen, and he has embarrassed me. But I'm going to ride Josh Allen one more time to get to the playoffs. Not picking him to go Super Bowl, but I like the Buffalo Bills to make the playoffs. Now, before I get into boxing, the one thing I forgot to mention when it comes to the Chiefs and Bills, the guy to watch for that's going to be the hero of that game is Gabe Davis. He's a Chiefs killer. And I think he's going to be the guy, if they overplay Diggs, he's going to be the guy that's going to hurt the Chiefs. And that's why the Bills are going to win. So I wanted to mention that. Now, boxing. Prograis versus Haney. It's a tale of two different styles. Haney's moving up. Both guys are talking junk like they're Hearns and Hagler and Hearns and Leonard. They're not those guys, but they're talking that kind of they're talking that kind of trash. This is like, man, y'all, you guys are really good fighters. You're not as good as you're saying you are, but they're just because I'm like, what are you talking about? Then I listen to Haney. I'm like, what are you talking about? Maybe Haney moving up in weight because he's a taller guy and he couldn't make that weight. Maybe that does give him the power he needs. And Prograis he has 24 knockouts and 28 fights, and he can crack you with that left hand. Nice right hook, pretty good nice right, but the left hand, and he's coming after you. He gets inside. He looks like he's the best shape of his life. I love how he looks. I just wonder because he got put down the last fight. He runs into punches because he is a predator. He likes to get you out of there. And sometimes guys who fight like predators or get tagged. The problem is this is a close fight. I'll give you how Prograis could win and how Haney could win. Prograis touch Haney like Linares did. Get in there, get inside, test him, test his metal. If you could take his punches, if you're saying he can't hit a lick, he hasn't had knockout in 14 fights or whatever, or however that is. Get in there. Prograis can be sloppy. That's what cost him against Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor, his distance wasn't correct. He was too close. Josh Taylor just popped him inside. Then Josh Taylor was a little tall. He used his height. He hit Josh Taylor a couple times, but Josh Taylor, he controlled the distance. So he was able to win. He has to learn from that. He has to have the proper distance so he can set up his shot. And then when there's an opportunity, he has to pop Haney. And he has to stagger Haney. And this is the one thing Haney can't deal with now. Haney was popped by Linares, but Linares didn't really know how to finish him. Haney got popped by Lomachenko, but Lomachenko he's moving up. He didn't have the power, but he's popping him pretty good. He can't afford to get popped by Prograis. If Prograis pops him, he's in real trouble. Because Prograis can crack. So that's Prograis' game plan. I'm going to take some punches, but I know, and Prograis has got to use his jab a little more so he can set that left hand up. And Prograis' mind, if I hit him with this left, at the very least, I'm going to stagger him. And that could be trouble. But on the other hand, I would have surmised that Devin Haney's going to outbox this dude. Even if he gets knocked out, he's going to be the guy that's going to be the controller. Lomachenko's a tricky boxer, old school kind of old vet. So he was able to control the second half of the fight, even though Haney was outboxing him for the first half. That's why I thought it was a draw. Haney, Prograis is not as good a boxer as Lomachenko, but he's a powerful fighter. But what Haney has to do is box him. It's use that jab, use that educated jab he's got. Go to the body way more than he did in a Lomachenko fight, which was successful early. He went away from it. Go to the body, use your ring generalmanship, and take care of business. The one thing Haney's probably going to have to do, Haney's going to have some power in this fight. And him moving up, I wonder if that could help him because he was drained from all the times he was at 135, 140, natural weight, feeling comfortable. He lands great, hard, accurate punches. Can he hurt Prograis? He's got to hurt Prograis because if he boxes and he doesn't hurt him, Prograis is the type of guy that keeps coming and coming and coming. He's eventually could clip him. Even if you're boxing him for 8 rounds, you can get clipped, and now you have a terrible loss on your docket. But if he can show enough power, maybe put him down, have him discourage him from coming in, get away from the left, and use your power, he could get him out, Prograis out, if he has the power, because they're saying he has more power. But if because he's a taller guy, I feel like this is a better weight for him, and even maybe 147 because of his frame. If he can show power, which he better, because Prograis got that power, man. If he can show enough power and do what he can, he could win. I'm more barely leaning toward Haney. Would not be surprised if Prograis wins because this is natural weight, and he's going to keep coming. I do respect that out of Prograis. Even when he's losing to Josh Taylor, he kept coming and coming and coming. And Haney can't take off the second half of the fight. You're going to get beat. And you're going to be on the canvas. And they're both talking junk. And Prograis' father, say, "We knocking you out. You don't want to deal with that embarrassment having to deal with him in the post-fight." And Haney's father talking. Whoever wins, they get to talk and get serious bragging rights for either side, the way both sides were talking.